There was a guy named Brute Bernard, God rest his soul, committed suicide. Or shot himself, whether it was on purpose or not, nobody knows for sure.
You always hope it was, because that's a hell of a way to die, being so stupid you shoot yourself accidentally.
It is. Well, he was a French-Canadian, and he was a little rough on the edges. Not that all French-Canadians are rough on the edges, but this one in particular was. And it was like he had no manners. And it was like he was ignorant, but not on purpose. Like he didn't know better. Like he would just eat peanuts in your car and throw the shells on the floor unless you made it. You had to make him pick it up. He was like a little kid, you know. And he reeked of garlic. He loved garlic. I love garlic myself. But you go in the gym. We'd go work out in the gym in Charlotte. And Brute would come in, and 5 minutes later, the whole gym smelled like garlic just coming out of his pores. That much he ate. And he married a wrestler. Her name was Betty. Now, this was told to me. I didn't hear it. But I understand that Brute is out in back of the high school gym one day, standing against the wall, and this broad's going down on him, giving him some head. And his wife catches him. And he says in his Canadian accent, he goes, "But Betty, blowjobs do not count."
Oh, God. I guess what he was saying is eating ain't cheap.
Yeah, I guess. He was proving that, I suppose.
I don't know if we can put that one in there.
I don't know if we can, but we'll have it down.
Yeah, I think I would lean toward not.
Yeah, well, it depends. You have to hear it. We'd have to hear that edited and see if it made any sense whatsoever.
Oh, you like take out blowjob?
Well, yeah.
What do you think blowjob for?
Let's say we can't have blowjob.
Yeah, we're going to market this mostly to more kids than adults.
Dumb kids. Yeah, we say shit, assholes.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, well, we got it.
That's all right, but the blowjob thing kids wouldn't understand. The rest of the shit they'd understand. They understand the shit. That's all right.
And the parents would understand if it was bleeped.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let me see. Anything else about Brute Bernard? Art Nelson. There was a guy named Art Nelson. Yeah, there was a tag team, the Nelson brothers. And Art was like this. Ole Anderson called him the old bullfrog. I mean, the guy would get to the gym, 2-3 hours early, and he had one of them wheels where you get on your knees and you roll it out and extend it. And he would do that like for 45 minutes without stopping at 54, 55 years old. And then he carried a broom handle with him, and he would do those twists, and he would do that for 45 minutes to an hour.
So and he looked good.
He looked good. He looked real good. And he had, like some weird philosophies, like a lot of them old timers. They did. But he used to carry shit with him to pull ribs on guys like wintergreen. Okay, and he, you know what? If for people that don't know what wintergreen is, it's like an ointment that you put on your skin that gets very, very hot. It's like a real high dose of concentrated Bengay, to say the least. And Art would keep it in one of a squeeze ketchup container when you go get a hot dog and a hamburger, the plastic containers that you squeeze. Yeah. Well, he would keep that shit in that container. And we'd be in Spartanburg, South Carolina or someplace, and it would be 100 degrees in the building. And the guy standing in the shower when he's getting in the shower on the front, Art squirting this stuff on his ass. And he don't feel it going on.
Oh, yeah.
So all of a sudden you hear...
that stuff's hot, too.
Yeah, you hear, whop, whop, whop. And the guy's snapping his towel behind him, trying to cool his ass off. And could never... Then, in the meantime, while the guy had been in the ring, Art takes and he sews one pant leg shut at the cuff. And if you've ever, when you get your pants cuffed, your toe gets caught in there sometimes if a stitch comes loose. Happens to everybody. It's, again, in the 70s, you would come out of a high school locker room and there was no air conditioning, and you're trying to towel off and your body's sweating now as fast as you can dry it off. This guy, Francisco Flores, now his ass has been on fire for the last half hour. He's got powder in his pants. He gets the left leg in, goes and puts the right leg in, and he thinks his toe gets caught in the seam. He's on one leg, hopping the fuck around the locker room, trying to pull his toe out and move it over and put it back through the leg. Showed son all the way
How long does it take to realize his pants sewed shut?
When everybody in the locker room was on the floor laughing, he finally realized that that's what had happened. Ours was good with ribs. There used to be a state trooper, and some places, in some territories, the wrestlers do drive too fast, and but it's late at night. You're trying to get home. Going 80 mile an hour is nothing. There's no other traffic on the road.
Yeah.
But there's a couple towns where the state troopers or the local cops would wait for you because they didn't like the wrestlers, or one of them was doing his girlfriend and, just whatever it was. And this guy used to wait. We were on our way. I think we were going to Columbia on Tuesdays. And, every Tuesday, this cop would be sitting, everybody slowed down. He stayed at the same spot every week. He was at the same spot. He would only catch the new guys if somebody forgot to tell him, you know what I'm saying? Then he'd come out and be Mr. Tough Guy. Art rides to the town 5 hours early and goes and buys a 15-foot 2x4 and drives all these nails all the way through it, hides it in the grass where the cop picks up. That day everybody goes by, there's the state trooper with 2 flat tires, 2x4.
Oh, that's a hell of a rib.
Yeah, oh my God.
That's a hell of a rib.
Needless to say, he was there the next week.
How about some of the vicious ribs? I was just having, one time, Johnny Valentine's just being talked about the other day. I think it was Jay York, the Alaskans. The guy had asthma. Those little inhalers you put in, it was a primer to you press down, and the other, you breathe in. Well, can you imagine you got asthma, and you're in the ring, you're all blowed up, you can't breathe. You come back to the dressing room, and the guy had taken his inhaler and put lighter fluid in it. So instead of sucking that stuff to open up your lungs, you suck in a lung full of lighter fluid. I don't mean to laugh. It's a vicious rib. It could kill him.
Yeah.
But I heard he took a shotgun and blew the guy's bag away. He said, next time it will be you. I think that'd be justifiable homicide. Jesus, can you imagine that? Somebody doing that to you?
There was some ribs that we used to... Fuji was the master of ribs.
Yes,
and, God, we could probably do a tape on him all alone. But one time I'm sitting in the locker room talking about fetishes. Johnny Valentine, for some reason, loved shit. I don't know why. But every guy that come in the territory, he'd shit in their bag. As soon as they come in the first day, all the new guys, all the green guys. And I got my fiance with me, okay? And I'd known him for about 6 or 7 months, and he liked me for some reason. But anyway, we go. I got my mom and dad's on the road. They're we met in Virginia. They come down to see me, and my fiance was there. We're just going to party in Myrtle Beach or something like that. Or work in Norfolk. And I got my parents checked in. I go in my room. My future wife is standing there, and I open up my bag, and I smell shit. But he had shit in a doggy bag and folded it up so it wouldn't everybody else. He just shit in her bag. The next day I seen him. He goes, your bag? I just says, it wasn't as bad as it could be because that's because I like you, kid.
That's because I like you, kid.
We're sitting in a locker room in South Carolina. I had a lot of fun in the Carolinas. And we're in the basement of a school. It's hot. There's a great big exhaust fan, maybe 5 foot by 5 foot, an industrial exhaust fan that's used to draw air through this locker room for the kids. This is in the middle of the summer, but, with the fans on. So there's about 5 kids that come up, and there's a window next to the, or a ledge behind me. They can't see me. They're just looking in the fan. The fan's over my head. And they see Fuji on the other end of the locker room. And they're talking into it. So it's Fuji, you fat Jap, you little prick. Just breaking our balls.
Yeah.
So Valentine goes,
Yes.
And he goes and he shits in a Coke cup that we had sodas in the locker room in, mixes it with water and stirs it up. And he like sneaks under the fan and he tells like me to keep him busy. So now I'm out there where they can see me and I'm like breaking their balls. Valentine's got that watered down shit. Get ready. In his hand, he sits back and he just like throws it into the fan. And I was like, "Foof!" And then you hear, and I hope one of them kids get this tape because they probably told their kids by now, man. And this will substantiate it. That is a true story.
Oh God! But sometimes those people harass you. You got to get back. You got to do something. You know what I mean? I mean, when they do it, they might do it for 5 or 10 minutes. Just once we'll do it, sit there for 3 hours. But you Lawrence! One time I was working for Bill Watts down in New Orleans, Louisiana. I got to go to New Orleans, and then you had to park. You had to pay to park. First of all, it was $2 or whatever. It's like 83. And you're there is a public parking lot right beside the building. So the people could bust your stones unmercifully. You couldn't say a word back to them and fuck with them because your car's right there. They're going to do something to your car. So they do, "Jag up, buddy, eat me, buddy." And I just got to take it. Yeah. So the last time I'm leaving the territory and they'd follow you out. So I got in my car and I get to the thing. It was like 50 little kids behind me that's screaming. I slam on the fucking brake and I hear as they and I thought, I paid you little assholes back to fuck with me. Oh, it's not good.
6 months of torture, you little bitch.
Exactly. 8 months. I think the statute of limitations right now. Well, of course, all I did was stop my car, but in case any of them got hurt, I'm sorry. But you deserved it. We need a couple guys here laughing there. We need that.
You think so?
Yes, we need Dennis here cackling. We need Walt to pick it up. Yeah, it's got to be people.
No,
I think we got to say now. We're here with premier independent promoter Dennis Corluzzo. I know you hate to do that, but it will add something to it. If not just me and you sitting here cackling.
I think this just sounds like two fucking guys telling. I don't know. I think it's funny.
It's hilarious. I'll play some of it back.
Yeah, I mean, I got maybe if we do another one, I would hate to see all this work go down the drain.
Yeah,
the stories are good. We got.
Hey, I just can
you dub in laughter?
I can dub in laughter.
There you go. We can just say Dennis is here, piss him off.
We can say somebody else is here. Todd Gordon.
Yeah, we had to cancel Dennis because Todd Gordon called us into last minute.
Dennis had to go see the Tramps. He said, "You're passing up, I take to see the fucking Tramps." That's what he said.
There was a guy named, we wanted to talk about midgets, but I just thought of this guy, and he was a piece of work. His name was George Harris. And, he was from the South, and he had his little bit of a drawl, which was like part of his personality, And he was a manager for a while of Charlie Fulton and Frank Morrell and a couple of guys. But he was about 450 pounds, maybe 5'10". And he was, for all intents and purposes, a stooge. Couldn't help it. The Crockett's father had liked him, was my understanding, and they said the boys keep him busy. So they would put him on the road. He was, he was at the end of his career, basically, when I met him. And back in the old days, you could not ride in a car with the baby faces and heels together. You would get fired. And 99% of the time, that happened. Well, it got to the point where in one town, all the guys are meeting like behind the ShopRite. And the baby faces and heels would ride together. So Mr. Crockett, Jim Crockett's father, from what I understand, has a big meeting. And he calls all the wrestlers in and reads this letter because a fan had seen this.
Oh, God.
And basically the letter says, I told you fellas about kayfabing and riding in the cars together. He goes, and I want you to read or hear this letter I got from this lady and her son. And the mother writes the letter saying, for years she had been going to wrestling matches and really enjoyed it. And right away, this George Harris goes, I told him, Mr. Crockett, I told him about go back in. So the guy goes, hold on, George. Bunk was his nickname. He says, we were at the Acme or Piggly Wiggly, whatever the store was the other day, and we saw all the wrestlers parking in the back of the store. And again, it was Bunk, and it was like, I told him time and time again, Mr. Crockett, some heads were going to roll over this.
What a stooge.
Yeah. So anyway, to make a long story short, he gets along with the letter, and Bunk for the whole time has been telling him, and the letter ends with, and the driver of the car was 2-ton Harris.
He's been burning himself the whole time.
Yeah, was burning himself the whole time.
Oh, God.
He was a piece of work. He was amazing. He didn't learn to read until he was like 46, 47 years old. I would make some trips with him because he was a nice guy. The worst thing that happened was when he started to learn how to read. He was just started school when I left the territory, and I went away for like 7 or 8 months, and I came back and started working the territory again. And, we started making rides together, and he'd been going to school at 57 or 47 years old to learn how to read. Now we're riding down the road, and it's airport, Shoney's. For 200 miles, he would read every sign on the highway coming and going.
Must be exciting for him to know what these things were.
Yeah, he wanted to say,
what a
George,
pain in the ass.
What a pain in the ass. And it got to be a habit that he couldn't break. It was that I recognized it the first time. I'm like, George, enough with the reading. I'm glad you can read. First, I thought he was like showing off, but it was like he was practicing, which I give him credit for. But bring a
practice to yourself.
Yeah,
say it to yourself. You got to say it out loud. Yeah. That's always one of the great joys being around the wrestlers. Most of the wrestlers are really nice guys. They're good guys.
Yes.
There's always a few. Like they say about the rotten apple spoiling the barrel. Jeez, it's great. There's always one guy with a weed up his ass about something. He's not making enough money. He should be in the main event. He should be there. If you should be, you would be. You know what I mean? Just shut up, Jesus, you get tired of it. Like a bunch of little crybabies whining. But the stooge, they got guys, we call a stooge in wrestling somebody like reports to the office, and if they see somebody, doing some little minor thing, they're going to tell on them, tattle him to the teacher. But if a guy works in the office, you got to figure he's a stooge. That's his job.
Yes.
So what the hell's the big deal? But some of the things that, when they had like the dress codes, one time in Titan Sports, WWF, and one of the agents walks up to me and says, I had out for a couple of months doing something. And apparently they changed the dress code. I'm sure I received some kind of memo, but over some overnight letter about it. You know what I mean? I probably didn't pay close enough attention. He says, you're fined for wearing shorts on the plane. Well, I'm weighing 4 1/4. It's about, 90 degrees in the shade. It's summertime. You're fined for wearing shorts on the plane. I'm like, oh my God. That's what we got to worry about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Businesses are good. Business is real good. It was good at that time. They don't have to worry about getting people asses in the seats. They just got to worry about that little picayune bullshit.
How about Ox Baker? Were you ever on the road with that?
Nah, no, I don't know Ox one time. He's a character, though.
Yeah, he's a character, but I think maybe we'll save him for another time.
Yeah, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. You know Jim?
No, I don't know Jim.
So wild. Oh, man, we're out one night and God, where was it at? Somewhere, I know where it was. Oh, Quebec City, Canada. Oh, man, you go out with Jim Neidhart, you're looking for trouble. We're at this place at 4 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, there's a guy down the bar blowing him kisses. It's like 4 in the morning. I said, the barmaid jumps up on the thing, rips off her top, and she's dancing on the bar. And I mean, you're drunk as monkeys at 4 o'clock in the morning. Then you're eating breakfast like 6:30, and you never get in before 7 with him. You know what I mean? That's what I can go out with him once or twice a year.
So you're having a good time. It's just hard on you.
Oh my God, I don't see how some guys do it all the time. Every night.
It's a unique lifestyle, that's for sure.
It really is. If you don't, it's great if you don't weaken. My problem is I weaken too.
How much we got now, Walt?
Let's see. I think we got about an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay. We didn't really do anything about Fuji, right?
No.
I could tell a story about Fuji.
We'll get about an hour and a half in.
Okay. We're in Honolulu. Fuji was a major help to me. I mean, he really broke my chops, but he also was a major factor of helping me learn how to work, and I have to give him credit for that. There was no wrestling schools back then, but he certainly made me pay a price. You know, I would have much rather paid cash, I think. I mean, and as this tape goes on, well, there'll be plenty of stories about Fuji. I'll probably get him all pissed off at me all over again, because I had him pissed off at me one time. We're in Hawaii. We go to Hilo. So, Fuji had a girlfriend there. Nice girl, real nice girl. She'd make stuff for the wrestlers, bring them. The girl had a daughter about 14 or 15 years old. Well, every week, Fuji wants me to babysit. Watch her daughter while the mother's down my room. And he'd stay for a couple hours. 13, 14 years old. So, and me and Morocco, we were working against each other. So we would just sit in the room, drink a couple beers and watch TV. And the kid would sit there and watch what we were watching. But you really couldn't relax. Yeah. Well, this went on for 4 or 5 weeks. And me and Morocco were bitching, but nobody's really saying anything to Fuji about it. So anyway, I says, Don, I think I've got the solution to this problem. I says, how's it going to... So I just out of the blue one night, I says, how's it going to feel to have Fuji as a stepfather? She says, what? And I go, oh, I'm sorry, hon. I guess Fuji's been trying to break it to your mom, but he's a little shy and don't know how to bring it up. But he said he was really going to say something. I thought he would have done it by now. I didn't mean to let the cat out of the bag. She breaks for the door and runs down to the room. And it's knock, 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 knock on the door. And, Mom, Fuji wants to marry you, but I don't know how to tell you.
And she's like happy for her mother.
Yeah. He loves you. He loves you. Not he doesn't want to marry you. He loves you, but he don't know how to tell you. And she turned around and says, is that true, Fuji? Because she really loved him. And he said, no. God.
That's Fuji, right?
So mad at me. And I guess he should be. But he done so much shit that I'll go over that sometime, too. He was going to have me tied to a bumper and drug up and down Colorado Boulevard. He had a lot of connections, and probably still does. In Hawaii, you could go over there and Fuji would take care of everything from tickets to Don Ho, limousine rides, He had all the connections. So my mom's coming. My mom happened to be in Hawaii while I did this little prank. Now, my mom's got her picture with Don Ho, and she's got this tour going and that tour going. And the next day, everything was canceled. So now I'm paying for my mom to do all this shit because Fuji's pissed off at me.
That's funny.
I was sitting in a bar at a hotel, and he broke through the door, and he put the finger up. He goes, "You're very vicious. What I ever do to you?"
You're very vicious. That's funny. I seen it one time. We're at the place out of Baltimore studio doing that TNT show they used to do. It was a talk show. Vince McMahon was the host. You know Danny Spivey, Ed and Mercy. You ever meet Danny? Great guy, but Danny's cool. He's got his cowboy boots on, and Fuji just loops a piece of tape over the boot. Danny's asleep in the lobby, and he just like a hot foot. So he lights both ends, and of course everybody's sitting there watching. We think Danny's asleep, but I don't know if he was. For a while he was, because he's looking. The flame is getting closer to the boot. Closer. Now the flame is licking at the top of the boot and charring it and starting to burn into the pants a little bit. And Danny's just laying there. But anyway, he looks, he opens his eyes, looks down, gives it like 1 or 2 kicks off the flame, you know what I mean? And goes back to sleep. So I know he was asleep for a while, but he had to come to. But Fuji, I don't like them ribs that cost you money. I don't want any ribs that's going to burn my boots or my pants or anything like that. God.
And if he didn't like you, I mean,
he always liked me, thank God.
Yeah, thank God he liked me too.
Yeah.
I seen him do some funny shit.
Yeah, didn't he go in the bar one time, the electrical side?
Yeah. We're in some hotel up in Boston. And I guess he had to piss. He's too drunk to go to the bathroom. He goes, Larry, what? Because if he's going to do something, you might as well get the audience just for the effect. The club's, it's a boom, boom, boom. It's dark. You can't see shit. He goes to piss on the wall, pisses into the electrical outlet. You see this little blue arc go up, straight him up.
I bet that woke him up. Oh, that's funny.
I don't think it shocked him too bad. He didn't sell it much. I heard it one time the chief of police, now we're getting close, of Deptford. Fuji had him in the car. Well, Fuji stole the police car one time. They were at Super's gym. We're all working out. Me, Dean Ho, Fuji, Tanaka. I was just starting. I hadn't even had a match yet. Okay. Bruno used to go there. Bunch of guys. Fuji says, "Hey, brother, I got an idea." He goes, "You keep them busy." I'm shooting shit with this cop. They pull up to the back of the gym. It's the summertime. The doors are open. Fuji goes and gets in a fucking police car and locks them. Turns on the siren and takes off down Delsey Drive.
Oh, God. They didn't do nothing to him?
Now he brought it back. The guy was, pissed, but he got away.
What do you get? Run him in for that?
Chief of a police in town one time, drunk off duty, mooning people going down Delsey Drive. I won't say what years that is because
Yeah.
But then it didn't hurt anybody, I guess,
Yeah. But that looked bad for the chief.
You caught it on real bad for the chief.
Oh, God. That should be good enough. All
right, we still got Martine. I mean, we still got Frankie, third-degree burns. I mean, we got other guys. We got to think of more. Some Chief Thunder Mountain. Did you ever meet Chief Thunder Mountain?
We got to do more people they're going to know.
I know, but midgets, so they don't need to know them. They just need to know they're a midget.
Yeah. At the time I kicked Bret Hart's ass in amateur wrestling in Phoenix, Arizona. I should tell that next time.
Did you? I heard
we started referee's position. He sat out. I pulled him back. It would have been a 2. It was like a 1-2. It was 2 points, and he sat out, turned in, got away, escaped. So I won 2-1. Like an 8-second match. Oh, let's tell a few more.
Okay.
Something to eat.
Let me flip the tape.